Welcome to the post-game recap. I'm Jarret Johnson, and boy, in the annals of Red Raider football, at least since I've been watching for decades, one of the tougher losses. The Red Raiders lost 63-56 in overtime to number 8 Texas, and it was a game in which the Red Raiders led by 15 points with 3 minutes and 13 seconds left. So Jarret Johnson had ripped off a 75-yard touchdown run on a sprint where he broke a tackle and went to the house, and it really appeared that the Red Raiders were on the way to just a monumental upset of Texas. Texas, who came in here an 18-point favorite. It was a concerted effort for the Red Raiders to get that advantage. The defensive line played well. A bunch of transfers played well. The defensive backfield, which was just torched in the opener against Houston Baptist, up until that point had played very well. But the old adage, it's not over till it's over, certainly rang true here at the Jones, where Texas, behind Sam Ehlinger, really made quite the comeback. Just a monumental comeback, to be honest. They scored in 34 seconds on their first drive after a very controversial pooch kick. I asked Coach Wells about that pooch kick. He said it was a called sky kick that was mishit. So I think the idea behind it was a bad idea, but also it wasn't executed as well. So that led to a very short, fast drive for Texas. Like I said, scored in just 34 seconds on 1 of 5 touchdown passes by Sam Ehlinger. And then they get an onside kick. This game was actually very reminiscent to the Dallas Cowboys comeback win over the Atlanta Falcons. UT gets an onside kick in a wild special teams game all the way around. Each team had a punt block for a touchdown. Each team recovered an onside kick, and Texas got the timely onside recovery there late in the game. They were able to score and then get the 2-point conversion to tie it up at 56-56 with just 40 seconds remaining. Texas Tech got all the way here almost to midfield. They're between the 40 and the 50, their 40 and midfield, and stalled out. They called it a bizarre timeout with 9 seconds left, then punted. There was no punt block or punt return. I don't think Texas even had a guy back. They didn't mess with it, which makes sense. The clock ran out. They went to overtime. Texas Tech won the coin toss and played defense, of course. And Texas in 3 plays marched down the field, scored. Sam Ehlinger threw his 5th touchdown pass of the night. Texas Tech got the ball back, and they weren't able to convert. It was bizarre. There's a 3rd and long. There was a swing pass out to Jarret Johnson, who originally was ruled a fumble, but then incomplete. So Tech had one more shot, 9 lives. The game that would not end. Alan Bowman, who, hey man, he had 5 touchdowns on the night, but threw 3 costly interceptions. That was one of them to end the game. It was 4th down. So he kind of threw up kind of a, not a Hail Mary, but threw it up to some receivers who played really well for Texas Tech. I got to give them props. TJ Vasher had 4 catches for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Keyshawn Carter, who continues to impress, had 7 catches for 77 yards and 2 scores. And then Eric Ezukama had 7 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown. For the most part, the Red Raiders running game was bottled up by Texas, except for that 75-yard run, which was significant. I think overall, Joe Yeager, our senior columnist, wrote a really good column after the game, his Yeager shots. Basically, there's 2 things that you could gain from this. I agree with it 100%. One, Tech is better than obviously what they showed against Houston Baptist. They can hang with some of the more talented teams in this conference. Certainly Texas is a top 10 team, expected to make noise in the Big 12 this year. But also, what's the confidence level of this team? I mean, when you blow a 15-point lead with 3 minutes left, I mean, let's face it, they choked. What does that do to your confidence level? We were already kind of wondering about this team's confidence level, and it was right there, 15-point lead. I think the ESPN FPI had a win probability of 99.9% at one point, and Tech found a way to lose, to be quite honest. So, it's not going to get that much easier, because now Tech has to hit the road for their first road test against Kansas State, who's coming off a big comeback victory over, a then number 3 Oklahoma. So first road test, we'll see how Tech does, how they respond to more adversity. But the Red Raiders fell to 1-1 overall and 0-1 in Big 12 play, and they're going to have to find a way. Maybe Kansas State is a letdown after the big upset, but they're going to have to find a way to finish games and to be more composed. And not just the players, but the coaching staff, who continue to make some kind of confusing late game decisions. that we asked them about. Everybody from the head coach all the way down to the kicker and all the players on the team need to start making more poised plays late in games, or it's going to be a long season. I think they've shown they have enough talent to compete and be in these Big 12 games. Now can they make those plays late in order to win? We'll see. I can't wait to see. Keep it on InsideTheRedRaiders.com. With that, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.